Alright guys, so today's video, I was going to compare the Earfun Free Pro 3 to like the Sony XM5s or the Bose Quiet Comfort 2s. I was going to pick one pair and just do a direct comparison, but I feel like the better thing to do is just see how it compares basically against the top three, in my opinion, when it comes to more consumer-friendly earbuds. Because obviously Earfun is not, a hugely well-known company in comparison to Sony or Bose or even Apple or Sennheiser or any of those out there. So I feel like they're one of those brands that just kind of flies under the radar. And this week, with it being like the Black Friday savings week, the Earfun Free Pro 3 is going from its normal $79 down to like $55. And $55 comparing them to earbuds that normally retail for like $300 or $250. It shouldn't be a fair fight. It's a lot closer in comparison than it really should be. So we're going to talk about that. But the first thing that I really wanted to jump into is an update that's been made to the Earfun Free Pro 3. They've already added a pretty significant update that added better ANC, so the noise canceling is now better in these, but they've also added different noise canceling for different ear sizes. So you go into their app and it'll show you that you're in default mode, but it'll also show you that you have three other different ear sizes. Now it doesn't specify ear size. Obviously it's just going to depend on the user themselves. So once you put them on and you have the noise canceling on, you would kind of just toggle between each one to see which one affects the noise canceling the most based off your ears. So you can just leave it in default mode if you want to, but it is nice that you can go through and the noise canceling again just kind of changes and you'll notice a difference depending on what ear size you have. And then another thing is they've also upgraded the ambient mode. So you can, hear things around you a lot clearer. You can carry on conversations. Everything just sounds so much cleaner without that artificial noise that you get most of the time when you're using an aware mode or an ambient mode. So all of that's been improved and the price is actually lower than when it was first released. So companies that are out there to try to improve products instead of just moving on to the next product, I always give a thumbs up for that. But I think that's when you're a lesser known company, you have to do that. You have to do that to compete with all of the bigger brands out there because you don't have that name. You don't have that marketing behind you. So companies like Earfun and companies like Soundpeats, they have to work to really get customers to look at their products. Again, this isn't going to be a full review of the Earfun Free Pro 3 because I've already covered these, but I do want to point out some of the things that make them comparable to those more expensive brands. Now, it does work with their app. Again, this is going to give you different EQ options, but Earfun also works with the YouTuber Olav. I think that's how to pronounce it. I'm probably saying it wrong. And he really knows how things should be tuned. He has his preferences, so he actually even has two different EQ settings just based off his preference. So outside of the normal ones that you get with different companies, you have somebody that really went in and just picked apart everything to get the most out of these. So it's nice that you have this option. It's nice that Earfun is working with someone like this instead of just throwing some different generic EQ options out there. Some other things that also make these very impressive is it does have that Snapdragon sound. So if you have a compatible device, you can take advantage of lossless audio. It also has Bluetooth 5.3 with that multi-point connection. So, you can connect to more than one device at a time. And on top of that, it also supports aptX Adaptive. Now, again, this is something you have to go into the app to make sure that it's toggled on, because if you're going to be using aptX Adaptive, which is basically trying to give you the best Bluetooth quality depending on your connection, depending on a bunch of different things. They're just compiling it and making sure that you're getting the most out of your audio. It's also going to use a little bit more of your battery life. So this is something that you do have the choice whether to turn on or turn off. And then speaking of the battery life, this is another area that's pretty impressive, especially comparing these to the other ones, because if you use these with the noise canceling on, you can get 6 hours out of the earbuds and about 27 hours using the case. But if you use them with the noise canceling off, you can actually squeeze a little bit over 7.5 hours out of the earbuds, where with pairs like the Sony XM5s, you're going to get 8 hours max. The Bose Quiet Comfort 2s, you can only get 6. And then these Sennheiser Momentum Wireless 3s, you can get 7. So you can see it's pretty much in line with all three of those. But speaking of all three of those, I want to again go back to pricing, because I think this is where companies like Earfun and companies like Soundpeats bring so much value. The Sony XM5s come in at $299. Now these definitely have better noise canceling than the Earfuns, but I actually prefer the sound of the Earfun compared to the XM5s. Again, it's going to come down to personal preference, but the Sony's being $299, but although right now on sale for $248, you can get 4 pairs of the Earfuns for under the price of what you can get one of the XM5s. And then same thing with the Bose Quiet Comfort 2s. Those normally retail for $279, although right now they're marked down to $199. And then comparing them to those, you can get 3 pair of the Earfuns compared to just 1 pair of the Bose while they're on sale. And then looking at the Sennheiser, which normally retails for $279, although right now you can actually get those for $169, and I think that's a hell of a deal. You can still get 3 pairs of the Earfuns and still come in under the price of 1 pair of the Sennheisers. So from a value standpoint and from features and from the sound, I think the sound of the Earfun definitely competes with all 3 of these. I think where the advantage out of the 3, I think the Sennheisers have a slightly more natural sound. I feel like they're a little bit more open. The Sonys, I feel like you have a little bit more control of, because I still feel like Sony has one of the best apps out there. Although I am going to say this, I think that Earfun's app has definitely come a long way, and there's a lot of different features kind of packed into that as well. And it's not just some generic app that's just giving you EQ options and moving on. Like I said, having those different noise canceling modes, even having a wind reduction mode. So if it's a windy day, being able to switch that wind reduction mode keeps that from affecting your audio, and you don't even get that with these bigger name brands. And then another thing that I feel like the Earfun has an advantage of over the other 3 is, on top of having the Bluetooth 5.3, they also have that gaming mode, and combining both of those pretty much means that this is a pair you can use with any type of media. It just cuts down any kind of lag, where these other ones, depending on your situation, I have noticed lag with the more expensive brands. So am I saying that the Earfun is like the end-all be-all and they're just better than all 3 of these other ones that I've talked about? Absolutely not. But from a value perspective, it is really hard not to at least acknowledge what all you're getting from companies like Earfun, especially with the Free Pro 3. I think there is so much packed into these. I really think they live up to their Pro name, especially because of the price. I don't feel like there's anything that you're not getting with these, because you're getting Qi wireless charging. You're getting really good noise canceling now. You're getting a good ambient mode. You get a very good app that's giving you a lot of control over these earbuds, but also allowing these to be updated. Again, they've already upgraded the noise canceling, they've upgraded the ambient mode, and Earfun is one of those companies that continues to do things like that, because again, they have to compete with these bigger names. So the fact that this week during the Black Friday deals that you can pick these up for $55, I wanted to dedicate another video to these just to show you the value that's out there. Now, I also plan on doing a video this week covering all the big deals on the Soundpeats earbuds. And again, that's because these smaller companies, I just don't feel get the recognition that they should. But guys, that wraps up my video on the Earfun Free Pro 3s. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.